LA.
The Lakers are in the no man's land category, and thus there is no point to this season. They have a top 5 player of all time in LeBron. They have a top 5 player in the sport in Luka. You can't tell me the point of this season is to win a championship because LeBron just told you they have no chance of doing that. You can't tell me the point of the season is for draft status. You can't tell me the point of the season is for player development with young players. The majority of the team is on an expiring contract to get to the team that Luka can build around. The only point of this season for the Los Angeles Lakers is to ultimately get LeBron James off the roster so they can restart this franchise around Luka. This is as pointless of a season for as relevant of a team as we have ever seen in the history of sports.
Start your day with unsportsmanlike before the Sedano and Cap Morning Show at 7 a.m. Mornings on ESPN LA. This is Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN.
And that will do it. Lakers dropped both ends of the back-to-back last night to OKC, tonight to San Antonio.
Last night at Crypto.com Arena, the purple and gold were undermanned as Wemby went off and the Spurs took down the Lake Show.
Rebound, grabbed by Dylan Harper, alley-oop to Wemby, slam dunk.
The Lakers get right back at it tomorrow night versus the Dallas Mavericks. But JJ Redick says they gotta step it up defensively.
We could have showed 18 clips of us not playing our defense, so not a lot to take away other than, we suck at defense.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
And all new Lakers Talk is on right now.
Here's Andy Kamenetzky.
What is up, Laker fans? This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, ESPN LA, 710. Thank you as always. The Lakers Talk. I was about to say faithful and familia, and somehow almost turned that into failure. Failure, I guess, would be the last 2 games where the Lakers have lost. But you are the faithful. You are the familia. You are greatly appreciated. As you all know, we often move about days, times with Lakers games, Kings games, the occasional Rams, the occasional USC, the occasional odd bowl game, draft coverage, whatever. Me, Funchy, and DeAndre, we are a traveling circus. You are always with us. It is always greatly appreciated.
The Bingo Long All-Stars.
We are the Bingo Long All-Stars, and I'm the token white guy. I'm the token white guy with Bingo Long. Shout out Billy D. Williams.
Richard Pryor.
It's good stuff.
James Earl Jones.
They don't make them like that anymore.
No, they don't.
They do not make them like that anymore. So a lot to get into, though, over the next couple hours as the Lakers got one more game tomorrow before the All-Star break. That is against the Dallas Mavericks. What is that, 7 or 7:30?
7 o'clock tomorrow.
7 o'clock tomorrow. That means pregame coverage with Beto is at 5:30. Then the tip with Michael and John, the call, that'll be at 7 o'clock. Then you got postgame with Beto again afterwards. All games can be heard right here, the Lakers, on 710 ESPN. But we got that game coming up tomorrow, then the All-Star game. LeBron, after the loss to the Thunder on Monday, the Lakers just suffered back-to-back losses, albeit with very, very different contexts. But LeBron said after that loss that the Lakers are not a championship team. His words. Big deal, no deal, just a matter-of-fact statement, anything to read into. We'll get into that. LeBron is also, too, after missing last night's loss to the Spurs, the entire projected starting 5 for the Lakers did not play in that game. LeBron is now officially ineligible for all NBA honors, ending a consecutive 21 season streak of being named to the all NBA team. It's just mind-boggling that he managed to do this for so long. To be totally honest, I don't know if he would have made it this year anyway, unless enough other players were also ineligible, which we're going to get into, including, it's kind of floated under the radar because people have been paying so much attention to this with LeBron and the streak. Luka, who the Lakers have announced will not play tomorrow night against his old team, the Mavericks, in L.A. Luka is continuing just upkeep with the hamstring. Will The Lakers have said that they, per Dave McMenamin, that they play in the All-Star game. He was voted in as a starter. We will see about that as it gets closer, but Luka is not going to be available for tomorrow night's game. DeAndre Ayton is actually questionable with that lingering knee soreness. Austin and LeBron are off the injury report altogether, so that's good. That means they will be available. But it's kind of flown under the radar that Luka is now getting closer to being all-NBA ineligible himself. He only has, I believe, after tomorrow's absence, 5 more games to play with before he suddenly will not make the all-NBA team. And we'll talk about over the course of the show, I think the league is getting close to having to revisit this 65-game threshold because it is not playing out the way they wanted. Since we last did a show, Luke Kennard was added at the trade deadline. Kobe Buffkin added with the 15th spot after killing it in the G League. So we'll get into those additions. Do you like the work by the front office? Do you think missed opportunities? With plus Trevor Lane from Lake is going to be joining at 6:30. 6:30, we'll be hearing from Trevor Lane. Plus, we'll take your calls, 213-799-0139, 213-799-0139. Anything you want to get into regarding the Lakers, regarding the NBA, anything goes. Let's hear from you, 213-799-0139. But we begin with last night's loss to a very, very, very good Spurs team. And it was a very, very shorthanded Lakers squad. No projected starting 5 once Austin Reeves is off his minutes restriction. LeBron did not play. Luka did not play. Austin did not play. Marcus Smart did not play. DeAndre Ayton did not play. So you got a starting 5 of Rui Hachimura, Jake LaRavia, Jackson Hayes, Luke Kennard, and Kobe Buffkin going up against a Spurs team that a lot of people think could make it at minimum to the Western Conference Finals. Things played out exactly as one might expect. 136-108 loss. He had some nice garbage time minutes for Bronny James, a monster dunk off a lob from Adu Thero, who is newly activated after missing several games rehabbing a knee injury. DeAndre, you just gave me a look after I brought up Adu Thero, like you're just shaking your head. You didn't like that dunk?
Nice. That's all I gotta say. Nice.
It's a nice dunk, man. He got up there. And he
did
threw
get up
down
there
with force. Decent minutes for Drew Timme, yada yada. But there's really nothing to take away specifically from a game where Jake LaRavia not only fouled out in 18 minutes, but honestly, maybe you guys saw this differently, but around foul 4, LaRavia's body language and facial expressions to me looked like, F this, man. I just want to foul out and be done with
Wave
this.
the white flag, baby.
Oh, dude, LaRavia really looked like, dude, I know where this is going. Let the G League guys get some run. I am not up for this tonight. I am not up for being the sacrificial lamb tonight. So I'm not saying he tried to foul out. I think Jake is a pro. I'm just saying he did not look particularly disappointed when he fouled out. Jake looked almost relieved to have fouled out. The biggest takeaway was Wemby is effing awesome, man. 40 points in 26 minutes, 25 points in 8 minutes of the first quarter, 17 in a row. Dude was just wrecking worlds, comically ridiculous stuff. Honestly, though, the game before where the Lakers lost 119-110 to the Thunder, no Luka for the Lakers, but no SGA for the Thunder. I thought that actually was a game where you could take more things from it, read actually into it as some type of measuring stick for the Lakers. I thought they actually, all in all, played a pretty solid game. They lost to a team that is better than them. It was not perfect. They struggled, and this is unusual for them to execute down the stretch. They've been one of the best fourth-quarter teams in the league. They really struggled there. I thought they really lost the game in the first half. 10 turnovers, 20 points off those turnovers for OKC. You cannot give a team like OKC that is better than you to begin with that type of cushion. To put it in perspective, they finished the first half down 9, and they lost the game by 9. They both scored, the Lakers and Thunders, 52 points. in the second half of the game. Like, they played the Thunder reasonably well in the second half. Ultimately, neither LeBron nor Austin could really put together much in the fourth quarter. It took Jalen Williams a while to get going in this game, but once he got going in the fourth quarter, Williams was a monster. But this game, in a lot of ways, I think was just a reminder and an illustration of the weaknesses that we've known about all season and how much just they can be exploited by sometimes run-of-the-mill teams, but definitely the elite teams. Like the Lakers' weaknesses with physicality, with athleticism, with speed, with defense. Their depth is not as good as the depth for most of the contending teams around the league. Like the drop-off from the Lakers' three best players. You want to include the best of Rui, maybe like the best of Marcus Smart, the best of Jake LaRavia, fine. But like those three guys and the drop-off from them, the gap between whoever you think is the fourth best player, it's pretty pronounced. And it's bigger than most of the teams around the league. The Lakers can play very well, but they just have a low margin for error. They don't have the ceiling that they want, but I think this season has also shown, DeAndre, they don't have the floor that they want either. Like, I think they came into this season thinking that they would have a higher floor than they actually do. And we've seen, man, like, their margin for error is really small for a team that's good. Like, for a team that's double digits above 500. They have a remarkably small margin for error.
And that's why it built some frustration with me, with all of them sitting out against the San Antonio Spurs, which I totally understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand the reason to why they're sitting out. They want to get them fully healthy after the All-Star break. If the Lakers want to try to make a move, come like the postseason and be real legit contenders, which still, to our eyes, it's kind of difficult to see, for being honest.
You got to squint.
You got to really squint.
You got to really squint.
But, like, we talk about it, like, LeBron's comments after the game, as far as, like, they're not championship contending teams, and then earlier in the week, talking about they feel like they're not too far away from being legit contenders. Everything is just fast forward, and it's like, okay, once you want to get improvement over these games against two better teams on paper. So, seeing the Thunder game, they're turning the ball over, the mental errors, not being engaged in the last couple minutes, not in the clutch times. It shows, man.
Yeah, I mean they really missed. I realize it's not hashtag great basketball analysis to say they missed Luka against the Thunder, but like Austin Reeves had a really good first half. Second half, he really struggled. LeBron struggled in the first half. I thought had a really good third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, both struggled, and according to J.J. Redick, at least in his mind, he thought they did not go to LeBron enough. But when they did go to him, he struggled. Jalen Williams did not play great for the first three quarters, but when it really mattered, Jalen Williams was the best player on the floor, and that was ultimately the difference. LeBron had some interesting comments, too, after the Thunder loss, saying that the Lakers are not a championship team. What should we make of this? And I've seen the way he phrased this, like specifically the way he phrased this, not talking just about the Lakers being a championship team, but the reason that he said they're not a championship team. I've seen it rub a lot of Laker fans the wrong way. So we'll get into that. Take some of your calls, 213-799-0139. Some of you are holding. We will get to you next. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
The rivalry that shaped football. The players who defined an era. Ronaldinho, Saviola, Rafa Marquez, Figo, Guti, Marcelo. Watch the Legends Series. FC Barcelona Legends versus Real Madrid Leyendas. Live in LA on February 22nd at BMO Stadium. Tickets start at $35. New sections now open. Get your tickets at wearehouseofheroes.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
For 100 days, I'm going to cross the 7 continents because the answers to everything important are out there at the edges of our world. I'm stepping going to see our planet as it's never been seen before, from pole to pole.
Pole to Pole with Will Smith from National Geographic, now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Show me the way.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Your morning drive begins early in the Southland. Luckily for you, we present Unsportsmanlike with Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekdays 3 to 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
The Lakers are in the no man's land category, and thus there is no point to this season. They have a top 5 player of all time in LeBron. They have a top 5 player in the sport in Luka. You can't tell me the point of this season is to win a championship because LeBron just told you they have no chance of doing that. You can't tell me the point of this season is for draft status. You can't tell me the point of this season is for player development with young players. The majority of the team is on an expiring contract to get to the team that Luka can build around. The only point of this season for the Los Angeles Lakers is to ultimately get LeBron James off the roster so they can restart this franchise around Luka. This is as pointless of a season for as relevant of a team as we have ever seen in the history of sports.
Start your day with Unsportsmanlike before the Sedano and Cap Morning Show at 7 a.m. Mornings on ESPN LA. 710 ESPN.
The radio home of the purple and gold and the home of Lakers talk.
To Dylan Harper, now to Wemby for 3. He knew he was coming out, so he buried a 3. That gives him 40.
A tough loss last night versus the Spurs at Crypto.com. But JJ Redick knows it's always a challenge facing a unique player like Wemby.
You know, he's one of the 5 best players in the world. He impacts the game in ways that don't show up in a box score. On top of that, he's one of one as a human. You can see the collective culture that they've established over the last few years with him.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
Golden years is a specific reference to LeBron James, 41 years old. Well done, DeAndre. Very nicely done. If not, still works. But either way, well done. Reminder, about 15 minutes, we are going to talk with Trevor Lane from Lakers Nation. You guys all know his coverage of the Lakers, some of the biggest and best out there. So again, Trevor joining us in about 15 or so minutes. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN. Going to get to LeBron's comments after the Thunder loss, where he said that the Lakers are not a championship team. But before that, going to take a quick call. Solomon in Lake Balboa. You are on Lakers Talk. What's up, Solomon?
Hey.
How you doing? Solomon, I'm going to need you to call back. You're crackling. I can't hear anything from you. You're breaking up. So let me take Gilbert in Diamond Bar. You're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Gilbert?
Yeah, hi.
Hey.
I don't really understand why the Lakers are not a potential championship team. I mean, I thought Pelinka made some great off-season moves. He brought in a 7-footer that's a former All-Star. He brought in a guy that was Defensive Player of the Year not that long ago, a two-way player in Laravia. We just picked up the best three-point percentage shooter in the NBA. We have Luka. We have LeBron. I don't understand why people don't feel we can go deep in the playoffs. I know they've been inconsistent, but I think we have, the tools to make a run.
Well, I appreciate the call there, Gilbert. I mean, the Lakers I've said this all season, said this heading into the year. They're a good team. I don't think they're a great team. And the reason they're not a great team, and you need to be a great team to win a championship, is just their flaw, very obvious. You know, the lack of athleticism, the lack of defense, the lack of speed. They've had issues with shooting, although hopefully Luke Kennard, that addition, will pay dividends. Thus far, he's shooting 44% from behind the arc. As a Laker, they need him to bump up the volume. But again, small sample size, so far, so good.
You never get a guy calling saying that they have enough to win the championship.
That is rare.
That is very rare.
Well, I want to explain the thought process on that. And you know what? Actually, forget my explanation. Let's hear LeBron's explanation. LeBron was asked by Dan Wojcicki from The Athletic, friend of the show, about the Thunder and comparing the Lakers to the Thunder, and obviously the defending champions. They're still considered, I think, the front runner to win the championship this year, and about the things that they do versus the things that the Lakers do, what they bring to the table, what the Lakers don't, what separates the two. And this is what LeBron had to say.
Where are you seeing the gaps between like where they're at and the things they do well consistently versus like kind of the build that you guys are trying to put together?
You want me to compare us to them?
No, I want to know where you think that like sort of as this team is on its like.
That's a championship team right there. We're not. So I don't understand.
What are the biggest things you think that are keeping this team as right now?
We can't sustain energy and effort for 48 minutes, and they can. That's why they won a championship.
And what I think is really interesting about this from LeBron is there are a lot of layers that can be peeled back from this, and I think there's also a perhaps correct read or partial read that is totally on the surface. Like, I do think there is a part of LeBron, and I say this because I've spent time around LeBron. I've heard him answer a lot of different questions with a lot of different tones, and I've covered him while he's been a part of a championship team. I've heard him or Anthony Davis, who've been part of championship teams, in the same way I've heard Kobe and Powell back in the day as part of a championship team. Phrasing this, we're not a championship team, they are, in the most matter-of-fact way. They have won a championship. They have shown they can do this. We have not. By definition, we are not a championship team because we have not won a championship. We have no proof of concept. Since 2023, we have not even been out of the first round. They've won a title. So in that sense, I do think there is a part of this from LeBron that is being literal and just saying, this is what they've done, this is what we have not done. And it's pretty common to hear players like that, like LeBron, who've won championships, phrase it this way. I also think it is worth noting, too, that if you listen to the entirety of LeBron's postgame after that loss, while I do think he was irritated by losing, he was pretty complimentary of the team as a whole in that game. Like, in particular, he said he thought they played pretty good defense against the Thunder. Like, there was a lot that he complimented on the team. And if you just take that one pull quote, I think it would sound like he was just viciously crapping on the team more than I think he actually was. Now, do I think, based on LeBron's comments, that he thinks they can win a championship? No. I don't think LeBron thinks they can win a championship because there's been no evidence so far that they can win a championship. And, you know, I don't think he thinks they can do it because I think he would have said, I think we can win a championship, or I think the pieces are there. Because I've heard him do that before, even with teams that haven't won a championship. So I do think he has doubts about whether or not they could win a championship. At the same time, though, LeBron's not dumb or blind. Like, he shouldn't be fooling himself into thinking that this team can do something that he can't. And as long as this does not bleed into LeBron phoning in the rest of the season or not trying or whatever, or seeping negativity towards the rest of his teammates, I don't think it's in and of itself that big of a deal. That being said, though, what I think, though, is really interesting about this, and the part that I know has rubbed Laker fans the wrong way, because I've heard from you all, particularly on Twitter, at Cam Brothers, the part where LeBron says that, let me find the right quote, where LeBron says, we can't sustain energy and effort for 48 minutes, and they can. That is a true statement. LeBron, however, is part of that particular problem. LeBron is one of the guys who cannot sustain that level of intensity and effort and basically type energy. He can't do that at age 41 over the course of 30-ish minutes that LeBron plays on a game-in, game-out basis. It may be understandable that he can't do that. 41 years old, 23 seasons in, mileage, yada, yada, yada. But there's still a trickle-down effect from that. And I think from a lot of Laker fans, there is an element of either hypocrisy or lacking self-awareness from LeBron in saying that, because even though he said, we can't do this, he's a part of it. And when you're LeBron, that can sound like a critique of the team in a way that maybe does not include himself. Real quick, Martin in Orange, you're on Lakers Talk. Your thoughts on this, Martin?
Hey, thank you, guys. Andy, DeAndre, kind of nervous because I know you guys are ball knowers, but I come from a little bit of a different angle. And when I heard him say that, I didn't think he was including himself. I know he was saying we, but I really thought he was saying the Lakers and not him. My thing is, we know that. Why state the obvious? You're on the team. Why do you have to state something like that? You already had your agent running around saying the same thing about a month ago. So now I know those words that he said came from you, because this is the belief. And I'm going to say one thing that Oklahoma doesn't have that we have. They don't have an aging 41-year-old superstar that doesn't know his place. Play some defense. Let's rack it up, and let's try to have a good season. Thank you, guys. I'm out.
Rack him.
Wow. Passion there. Jeez.
That is a lot.
He's waiting for him to get out of town.
And this, though, but this speaks to, and we're gonna talk with Trevor Lane in about 5 minutes from Lakers Nation. But this speaks to what I was talking about before, where it comes across, I think, to a lot of Laker fans, like either hypocrisy or lacking self-awareness, or, as Martin noted, an extension of Rich Paul's critiques that he's done on his podcast with Max Kellerman. Game Over, I believe it's called, the
Yes.
podcast with Max, where he has critiqued the Lakers, where he has said that he does not think they're a championship team, which in a vacuum is not a controversial
Maybe
statement.
LeBron's just looking in the mirror and just being honest with himself.
Well, but the problem is the way this was phrased and the way certainly it's being interpreted by a lot of Laker fans.
I've heard other people say worse.
But it doesn't sound, I think to a lot of them, it doesn't sound like self-honesty. To them, it sounds like, because LeBron has, I think, you guys can disagree, I think LeBron has, I don't think he's been phoning in this season. I want to make it clear. But I feel like there has been an aura of detachment from this team by LeBron. And because of that, even if he is, I think, playing well on balance, not superstar well, but well, and he has at times helped the Lakers win games, there is I think, an air of detachment that I've picked up on from LeBron, that I think a lot of Laker fans have picked up on from LeBron towards this team. So that statement where, again, in a vacuum, they're not a championship team and they don't always bring the energy and the effort. And I think what goes along with this too, the focus, because part of energy and effort is actually focus.
I think the detachment might be just the fact that he sees light at the end of the tunnel and, like, you know,
sure,
that it's almost over, you know?
Right. But
that he shouldn't be so attached to this thing.
But he is still a big presence on this team. He is still making $50+ million. His son is still on the team. Like, there is still an element of engagement that Laker fans, I think, expect from LeBron this season, but also sort of 5,000-foot view of this haven't felt like has consistently been there from LeBron more or less since he's been here. Like, there's been an element of arm's length between him and the organization for a lot of his time here. Now, it hasn't always been that way. During the 2020 championship season, when I think he really played a role in helping the organization and Laker fans get through Kobe's passing. Like, I think those are times where he felt think very organically attached to the organization. But I know that a lot of Laker fans feel a detachment, like, a business-like mercenary vibe from LeBron towards the organization, and that's why a lot of them interpret LeBron's comments that way. He said some of this is matter-of-fact assessment. Talk about this and more with Trevor Lane from Lakers Nation. You all know his work. You can follow him on Twitter at Trevor Lane. This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
For a century, the Genesis Invitational has stood as one of golf's greatest stages, where the game's legends make their mark and history is written.
It's official. The round that will long be remembered. Oh, yes! Ludwig Oberg.
February 19th through 22nd, celebrate 100 years of championship golf. Experience the drama, the tradition, and the moments that define the Genesis Invitational. Get your tickets now at genesisinvitational.com.
Whether you're starting a new routine or making player picks for the first time, trying something new can be hard. But in life and on Prize Picks, it always feels good to be right. With elite hoops action almost every night, the action never stops, and Prize Picks lets you take control. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code 710 to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code 710 to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
From 30 for 30 Podcasts.
Brian Pata, senior defensive lineman from Miami, gunned down.
The key to this case, it's Brian.
An hour before he died, he was on the phone arguing with somebody.
This might be a hit.
You want the truth. They just want a conviction.
Being placed under arrest.
We had a killer amongst us.
Murder at the U, coming soon.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
More Lakers talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
Bronny dribbling. Jordan McLaughlin on him. Bronny shakes. McLaughlin pulls up. 10-footer. Good. Nice shot.
After 2 straight losses for the Lake Show, Bronny James knows it's important to get a win tomorrow night versus the Mavericks before the All-Star break.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the most important. We got to end the first stretch of the season off right and hopefully come back the second stretch with an empty head and open mind and, ready to win some games and get to the playoffs.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today. And all new Lakers Talk is on right now.
Back to Andy Kamenetzky.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, ESPN LA 710. Excited to be joined by a friend of the show, Trevor Lane, the host and voice covering the Lakers for Lakers Nation. Podcast is consumed both audio and YouTube. He also co-hosts the Front Office Show with Keith Smith and with Jason Timpf and Jovan Buha. He also hosts the Lakers Collective podcast. Trevor's a very busy man. You can follow him on Twitter at Trevor Lane. Trevor, how are you?
I'm doing well, Andy. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. There's not a lot to take away from last night's game when the entire projected starting 5, once Austin's off the minutes restriction, did not play for various reasons. I do think, though, and we were just talking about this, that there is more that can be extracted from the OKC loss that I thought was competitive while also reinforcing the Lakers' flaws. What in your mind, if anything, was instructive from that game?
Yeah, I thought it really drove home the struggles the Lakers have in terms of finding two-way talent on this roster. How many times we saw the Lakers, especially in the fourth quarter, where they could either score but not get stops or get stops but not score. And that's because they don't have enough players who can do both of those things. They've got too many guys that are one side of the ball and not the other. OKC, meanwhile, is fully stocked with talent that can play both sides of the basketball. And I thought that was very problematic for the Lakers down the stretch. LeBron talked about it after the game, about how they can't seem to put together a full 48 minutes as well. And that's something that we've been noting throughout the season, that they tend to have these slumps mid-game end or the offensive end. We've yet to see them play a full 48-minute, focused, locked-in game as well. So I think part of it is roster construction, but also there's a mental side of it that I think is separating this team from the true contenders in the NBA.
Well, professional that you are, you led me right to what I was going to ask you about next, which was LeBron's comments about the Lakers, quote, not being a championship team. I shared some thoughts earlier. I know Laker fans have reacted to this in a lot of different ways, a lot of them not particularly kind towards LeBron, but curious your reaction to what he said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he lied when he said that the team's not a contender right now. He's not. It's not like the man's coming out there and lying and saying, and there's this juggernaut that, and LeBron is downplaying it. No, I mean, he's right. They are not a contender right now as presently constructed. They've got some things that are preventing them from being there. And I love that LeBron used the word we. He didn't say we've got certain guys on this team or anything. No, he is part of that. And at 41 years old, maybe he should be expected to be able to put together a full 48-minute game at this stage of his career. But nonetheless, the man is right. They are not a contender. It's just the facts. That's where things sit right now as we look at how they stack up compared to the rest of the NBA. They are a good team. A lot of people like to live in the land of the extremes. Everything is either trash or they are the GOAT, the greatest ever, right? No, the Lakers are a good team. They're just not a great team. And I think that's what LeBron was getting at, and he's absolutely right.
Talking with Trevor Lane, covers the Lakers for Lakers Nation, also co-hosts the Front Office Show with Keith Smith. Great podcast if you want to learn a lot about how the CBA works. Along with Jovan Buha and Jason Timpf, he also tri-hosts the Lakers Collective podcast. Follow him on Twitter at Trevor Lane. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN. I guess piggybacking onto what you were talking about with LeBron's assessment, because I know everyone with LeBron, they're always looking for something to read into or like a deeper meaning to it, messaging, whatever. Do you think there's more to read into it, or is it just an assessment of where they are, not much else to see here?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to think this is just an assessment of where they are right now, because when we talk about like reading into this, well, the trade deadline is passed. It's not like the Lakers are going to make some other kind of a move right now or not. And I don't think LeBron knows right now what his future holds. Is he leaving the Lakers? Is he going to retire? Is he going to sign a new contract? Will the Lakers offer him a contract? Will they not offer him a contract? All of that is up in the air right now. There is Rob Pelinka's favorite word, optionality, on both sides of this agreement right now. So I don't think this is necessarily foreshadowing from LeBron about what's to come in the future. He's not pushing for any kind of a move right now either, because there aren't any moves to be made after the trade deadline. I think it's just a statement of fact. This is what it is. They've got areas where they need to grow, where they need to get better, and they're going to be working on that for the remainder of the season.
Speaking of moves, the Lakers made one at the deadline, kind of a mid-sized move. They traded a Lakers fan favorite, Gabe Vincent, and a 2032 second-round pick for Luke Kennard, an elite shooter, a defensive liability, but he is going to try. He's also an expiring contract, although I don't think it's out of the question that he could re-up with the Lakers this offseason. What are your thoughts on Kennard, both as a player but also as a deadline move?
So in a vacuum, I think spending a second-round pick on Luke Kennard, who is literally the best three-point shooter in the NBA percentage-wise, right? For a team that could use shooting, they also need defense. They also need athleticism. But shooting, one of the boxes that they needed to check, you can't argue with getting the actual best three-point shooter in the NBA. And I think he's going to fit in just fine on the offensive end. Does have other drawbacks. Talked a little bit ago about needing two-way players. He's not that, right? But in a vacuum, spending a second-round pick in order to get Luke Kennard is not a problem. Where I do have a problem with it, though, Andy, is if this turns into half of a season of Luke Kennard and he is not part of the long-term future. The Lakers are so asset-poor as it is right now that every single asset that they have available must be focused on finding pieces that will fit long-term with Luka. And I think Kennard can be that. But we've seen this in the past. We've seen in the past where they've spent second-round draft capital on a player, gotten a half a season out of that player, and then the player goes away, the asset evaporates into nothing, and that's it. That can't happen here. If you're going to spend literally the only second-round pick that they had available to spend, it must be more than just a half a season of Luke Kennard. I love the acquisition. Come to terms with them this summer on a reasonable contract. Hopefully those are already conversations they had before they made the move. They had a sense of what it was going to take to keep him. I think he can be a fit, but this can't turn into half a season of Luke Kennard at the expense of a second-round pick.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I picture Kennard, at the very least, a possibility to re-sign with the Lakers for another couple years. Like, he's the type of player that you want around Luka and presumably Austin, like guys that will help space the floor, that will pay off those passes. I mean, we've seen that blueprint for Luka getting to the finals, and one of the ingredients was shooting. And I don't anticipate, Luke Kennard has an $11 million expiring contract. I would be surprised, frankly, if he made $11 million annually in his next contract, but I would be stunned if he made more than that. So I do think that this is a potentially doable relationship for the Lakers moving forward. They also brought in Kobe Buffkin for that 15th spot on the roster. He had been killing it with the Lakers G League. The results with the big club have been spotty, although pretty limited minutes. Did you like that acquisition for that 15th spot?
It's tough on Kobe Buffkin. I think he has played extremely well in the G League to the point where, this is my own guess here, this is not sourced, but I would assume there was outside interest in him, that other teams would have potentially given him a full roster spot, and the Lakers could have lost him had they not given him that spot. I think he's very, very talented. I was very interested in him in the draft a few years back. The Lakers were very interested in him at that point. You use your last roster spot on him, but on a conceptual level, is a 6'4" combo guard really what this team absolutely needs? No, they need wings. They need guys who can switch and defend multiple positions while providing a little bit of shooting, some size, some physicality, some athleticism, and those things are not necessarily what Kobe Buffkin provides. Now, you can also make the argument that for the 15th roster spot, all you're looking for is somebody that you think can become an NBA-level player. And at that point, fit doesn't matter quite as much. You're just looking for somebody that you can realistically put on the floor in an NBA game. I hope it all works out with him. But if we look at the Lakers' misses in free agency over the last few years, we look at Lonnie Walker, Gabe Vincent, Kendrick Nunn. These are all small-ish combo guards of sorts that haven't worked out. My hope is that this is not another move like that on a similar type of player. I like Kobe Buffkin a lot, but the history that we've seen in the more recent years here with the Lakers has me. I'm guarding my heart a little bit on this one, Andy. Where I can't be all in on Kobe Buffkin just yet because of the wounds of the past.
Talking with Trevor Lane, he covers the Lakers for Lakers Nation. He also co-hosts the Front Office Show with Keith Smith and with Jason Timpf and Jovan Buha. He is one of the hosts of the Lakers Collective podcast. You can follow Trevor on Twitter at Trevor Lane. Andy Kamenetzky, Lakers Talk, 710 ESPN. It's interesting you mentioned the need for wings. And for what it's worth, a guy like Haywood Highsmith, for example, I would be I know a lot of Laker fans were hoping that he would be the guy added. I would be, if you're concerned at all about this season, I would be skittish about adding a guy that hasn't played this entire year. Like if the thought process is kind of like Buffkin, we want to get him in our house, take a longer look at him maybe for the future, fine. But Jeremy Sohan was just waived by the Spurs, and in some ways he's like a slightly more offensively polished version of Vando, what they have in him. Do you know, because you do a lot of this cap stuff with Keith, and I apologize if I'm putting you on the spot right now, are the Lakers available or able to either waive Maxi Kleber or even waive Kobe Buffkin because his contract is not guaranteed past this season? Like, if they wanted to get Sohan, is that an option for them?
Yeah, that we are. If we're not there yet, we're just about there to where the Lakers could afford a second player on a minimum contract. I mean, we're talking like days away from them being able to fit that under their first apron hard cap. So it could be something that can happen. And what's interesting about Sohan is he actually still has two-way eligibility. So if you could bring him in on a two-way contract, conceptually, you could waive. I mean, Chris Mannion, who was fine last night, Nick Smith Jr., any of the two-way guys, Drew Timme, and you could bring him in on one of those contracts, wait until you can bump him up, and then go from there. So, yes, they're not being able to do something like that. There is flexibility to add him in. The Spurs moved on from him ultimately, though, because kind of like Jared Vanderbilt, he can't shoot. Teams are going to run away from him behind the three-point line. So I don't know that he's the perfect fit, but he is an interesting wing player that can defend a bit for you, bring you some physicality, some toughness there. And I think it speaks to the bigger question with the Kobe Buffkin addition is, would something better have come along had they waited, had they been more patient and not added Kobe Buffkin to the 15th roster spot? Perhaps they will have the opportunity to do so if they decide they want to waive somebody. However, anybody that has salary that goes beyond this year, unless that's non-guaranteed money, that would wind up as dead money on their books. So, for example, I've had people tell me, well, Dalton Connect or something should get waived. That would be $4.2 million in dead money on their books for next year. So, yeah, you don't want that. You do not want that. So there's not a lot of options there, but there is still the possibility for them to get into the mix.
Right. So that's good for fans to understand. Even if you think Buffkin was premature, they're not out on buyout candidates altogether. Like there still are options, and frankly, waiving Kobe Buffkin is an option. Like if they really felt like they needed to do that, but they felt like Kleber was too important in a playoff run if you need an emergency big or whatever to have around. So that it should be reassuring to fans on some level that the Lakers are not completely pot committed yet when it comes to the buyout guys. Last question for you, Trevor. After the All-Star break, I believe there's 18 games afterwards. Let's assume for the sake of argument and optimism, everybody who matters for the Lakers plays these remaining games. Do you think there's enough time for this team after all of the guys who've been in and out of the lineup, the big three having only played 10 total games together, not even 10 complete games? Is there enough time for this team to gel into something better? Like, I don't even mean win a championship, but just gel into the highest ceiling version of themselves.
I think there is time for them to truly get to their ceiling. I don't know if they get there. There is time for them to improve. They needed more time with Luka, Austin, LeBron out there on the floor together. But frankly, this feels like a little bit of a repeat of last year. If you remember, it was right after the All-Star break. LeBron was lost due to injury for a bit. That valuable time with Luka, Austin, and LeBron together was kind of gone. And then they went into the playoffs just hoping they could put things together on the fly. Unfortunately, it seems like that's kind of the path we're heading down once again. But I do think if they can get everybody healthy, there are steps they can make in terms of tightening up the rotation. J.J. Redick has been constantly trying to just, play whack-a-mole in terms of putting together his lineups with one player after another out. So my hope is that they can get a consistent rotation, figure out strategically how they're going to mix and match their offensive and defensive players. And I think that can raise the ceiling of the team. Can they get to their ultimate ceiling? At this point, even if they get full health after the All-Star break, I don't think that's enough time to fully gel as a team. But I think progress can be made. And gosh, I hope the injury bug can leave them alone for just a little bit because it's been brutal this season.
They've had 20-something different starting lineups, and not a single one of them has been J.J. Redick deciding under his own power to make a different decision or go in a different direction. They have all been dictated to him. Like, that's just crazy.
It really is. It really is. And it's one of the underreported things around the NBA. There's been a number of teams that have been hit by injuries. Denver, of course, has been crushed. The Pacers, right? But the Lakers have been absolutely decimated all season long. They've not been able to get any kind of consistency in their rotation. And you can see it as guys are constantly just trying to figure out what their job is in that lineup on any given night. And that's just the unfortunate reality of the injury bug that's been merciless around the NBA this year. I sure hope they can get healthy for the final stretch here of the season because they need it. They need it. They need to find out, too. Can Austin, LeBron, and Luka on the floor together work? Because despite the fact that we're now over a year into this, we still don't know.
Dude, forget the LeBron piece of it even. Just Luka and Austin for the future. Like, is that something that you really feel confident about? Like, the sample size, while it's often been positive, it's really, really small. He is Trevor Lane. He hosts Lakers Nation. Great, great coverage of the Lakers. You guys, I know, all consume it. You can also hear him on the Front Office Show and on the Lakers Collective podcast. Follow Trevor on Twitter at Trevor Lane. As always, appreciate the time, brother. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Andy. Always fun talking Lakers with you.
There he is, Trevor Lane. All right, coming back, any thoughts you guys have on what Trevor and I discussed? 213-799-0139 if you want to weigh in. If you are holding, hang in there. We will get to you. Also going to talk about the addition of Luke Kennard, talk about Kobe Buffkin, talk about a lot that lies ahead for these Lakers. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
In Los Angeles, it's not about closing deals. It's about opening partnerships. At ESPN LA, we're hiring audio play-by-play and digital marketing consultants. People who build relationships and create custom solutions powered by ESPN LA and the biggest teams in the city. This is where brands connect with fans who care. Competitive pay, full benefits, unlimited upside. Open your next partnership. Apply now at goodkarmabrands.com/careers.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNLAcontests.com.
That's ESPNLAcontests.com.
Located in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, Crypto.com Arena is pulling back the curtain and unveiling new behind-the-scenes VIP tours. Presented by Delta Airlines, which offers an exclusive look inside one of the world's most iconic sports and entertainment venues, expert guides will lead small groups through spaces that have hosted legendary sports championships, world-renowned concerts, and epic awards. Guests will also explore the VIP areas and experience the arena's latest renovations. Visit CryptoArena.com/tours for more info.
Every morning, you think you've heard it all on the Sedano and Cap Morning Show, and then Cap opens his mouth.
I ever tell you guys, my dad, when I was a little kid, my dad chewed tobacco. It was called Red Man. Like, it was in a pouch, and then you take this big thing of tobacco and you put it in the side of your mouth. So my dad comes home one night, and he's got a can of Dr. Pepper. And I looked at the Dr. Pepper as a little kid, like, ooh, that looks good. I'd like to have a sip of that.
Don't tell me you actually sipped it.
Oh,
no, Cappy, no. You would have vomited immediately.
Let me tell you something. I go to sip on this Dr. Pepper, and my dad goes, no! And I already had it down. And then he told me that it was his chew spit. Oh, gross.
You went and threw up, right?
So I don't remember throwing up. I just remember being like, oh, Dad, gross.
Real stories, real laughs, zero filter. It's the morning show with Sedano and Cap. Weekdays starting at 7 a.m. on 710 ESPN.
This is Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
Now back to Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky.
When they gathered around and started talking.
Thanks again to Trevor Lane from Lakers Nation, among other shows, for swinging by. Follow him on Twitter at Trevor Lane. The Lakers Talk injury report brought to you by the Call Jacob Injury Hotline. The only number LA trusts after an accident. Incredibly easy to remember, which is super, super important. When you've had an accident, you're rattled, it's difficult to think. But a number like 800-345-6789. Again, 800-345-6789 is so incredibly easy to remember. I am jealous of it right now. Every time I call out for 213-799-0139, I am incredibly jealous of the Call Jacob injury.
I saw
hotline.
Jacob last night at the game with his family.
Probably strutting around knowing he's got the greatest phone number in all of Los Angeles.
Yes,
Dare I say these entire United States, Jacob's got the
He has
best
a pretty
number.
interesting time during the game where they show a video of him just dancing. He's trying to get people to dance.
Well, I mean, look, he's got local commercial competition with dancing. Like, we've seen Oral, friend of the station,
yeah, that's
Oral
right.
in some of these commercials, he's dancing his ass off. Or, I guess, of what somebody at Oral's age, to whatever degree they still can dance their ass off. Oral does it. So, I mean, he's demanding that Jacob step up his game. But tomorrow's injury report against the Dallas Mavericks, the last game before the All-Star break, Luka Doncic will not be available. The Lakers have already announced this, part of that hamstring recovery. JJ Redick has said that Luka is progressing, but they want to be extremely cautious about this for incredibly obvious reasons. Like, the Lakers are running out of time to morph into the best possible version of themselves for the playoffs. If Luka misses any more time, like, whatever you think this ceiling can be for the Lakers, they ain't going to reach it. So they got to get Luka back. Also, too, Luka missing this game against the Mavericks provides some plausible deniability if they want to. And that becomes especially difficult when you were voted in by the fans. And I think someone like Luka takes it seriously. You know, he knows he has a global audience. He has gone out of his way in the year that he's been a Laker to really ingratiate himself to the fan base. Like, I think he's really gone out of his way to try to feel like a Laker. And I think he takes that stuff seriously. But if it is in his best interest to not even play 5 perfunctory minutes in this game and just stay off his feet, it helps to have the plausible deniability to the league if he doesn't play in this game. DeAndre Ayton is questionable tomorrow because I'm looking over at DeAndre.
He needs to be playing, man. I don't care that right now. You need to be playing.
What if he's legit hurt?
He's not legit.
How do you know?
Man. I'm sorry, bro. Go out there and
Dr.
play.
Hawkins says, get your ass out there, Ayton.
Exactly. You need as much reps as you can get in that pick and roll game.
Here is, I will say this, and I am just not one that will ever question whether or not guys can or can not be out there. It's not my body. But if you are looking for, I guess, maybe a glass half-ish full look at DeAndre Ayton and this knee that has been an off-and-on thing for Ayton over the last few weeks. Like, he's missed now a few games because of this same knee soreness. Maybe it explains the last month and change where he has not played well. Like, where his play has been all over the map. Look at DeAndre.
Sorry, you're not convincing me.
Dr. Hawkins ain't buying this.
You're not convincing me that little knee soreness. And again, if it's
I love
serious,
that you've diagnosed this from afar as just a little knee soreness.
Okay, if it's, I'm sorry, but that's not enough to determine how he has not been consistent enough for me. I'm sorry, man, because everyone was really high on him early on this season.
I know.
When he's getting double-doubles and all this stuff, and then as soon as you start to see, as the season starts to go on, a certain decline, like, and everyone's starting to raise questions like, why is he not playing like this? Why is he not closing out games? There's a reason why he can't close out games.
Do you think it's a lack of pure love for the game? Like, he's one of those guys that is just naturally athletic. He is obviously, by definition, naturally 7 feet tall. And this is something where he's already made millions of dollars. Like, he is set for life generationally. And it gets harder for him to really get himself up for the work, because, like, this is work. Like, this to play high-level NBA basketball, I don't care how naturally talented you are, it's work. Like, LeBron is one of the most naturally gifted athletes in the history of sports. That dude busts his ass. Like, he's put in a lot of work to, I mean, forget just continue playing at 41. Over the course of his career, he hasn't gotten there just on natural talent. It's been work. Like, do you think Ayton just doesn't have the passion that way?
If he doesn't have the passion, then that's a problem, because we sat here when the Lakers signed him that the motivation factor for him is a big concern. And you can't get guys to motivate him. So that was the biggest thing going into this signing. And, of course, he has all the offensive abilities to be a great player. He is really, really talented on that end of the basketball court. But the level of him being engaged is not consistent enough. And then when he puts himself out of position, it's not helpful for this Lakers team. He's supposed to be that rim protector. There's games where he's literally standing in the same spot and does not move. Like, come on, man. You're supposed to be that fierce interior defender. That's what the Lakers signed you for. I know they got him for the value they got him for and how they signed him. It makes perfect sense because of how little the Lakers were able to acquire him. But it's just not translating to what Lakers need to get done to have success.
Dr. Hawkins' diagnosis of DeAndre Ayton, you're blowing it.
Try to tell you guys.
You're blowing it. Yeah, well, this is also, too, you entered this examination, Dr. Hawkins, with a pre-diagnosed diagnosis.
Dr. Hawkins also has a show on Saturday morning right after Dr. Clapper.
Really?
I do, yes.
I did not know that.
Right?
Nobody tells me anything, man. Congratulations.
Sorry, real quick. I know we got a break, but this guy in the YouTube chat. So if you suspect DA's injury is fake, you got to be consistent and also question Luka, LeBron, Austin, and Smart. I literally said it was disappointing that they were not out there on the basketball court last night against the San Antonio Spurs.
I thought DeAndre actually had a show on Saturdays following Dr. Clapper. I did not
It's gonna be
realize
Dr.
this was
Hawkins, yeah.
I did not realize this was Dr. Doctor. Just a Dr. Doctor joke. I was all excited for DeAndre. I feel like I've, tried to take DeAndre under my wing as somebody talking Lakers, like really encouraged him. I was really excited. Lakers Talk Daily has been awesome, but I thought the next step had been achieved on Saturdays after Dr. Clapper, but damn it. Lakers Talk Injury Report brought to you by the Call Jacob Injury Hotline, the only number LA trusts after an accident, 800-345-6789. That is 800-345-6789. Coming up, more on the Lakers season, where things stand heading into the All-Star break. Going to talk about the Luke Kennard edition, the Kobe Bufkin edition. Take your calls, 213-799-0139. If you are holding, we will get to you next. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
Mornings in LA start with Sedano and Cap.
It's like, thank God he's alive. And then other times, like, God, I wish he died. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's just an emotion.
Where Cap looks back at the highs and lows of 2025 and everything in between.
I would say I'm going to give 2025 a very solid 8.5. George mentions that we did start the show in the morning. That's a good thing. Health is wealth. Thank goodness. My folks are okay. Kids are all good. Morales came back to life, so that's kind of a good thing right there. I mean,
what do you mean,
sometimes
kind
well, I'm saying kind of, not all the time. I mean, sometimes it's good, and it's like, God, thank God he's alive. And then other times, like, God, I wish he died. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's just an emotion. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say that 2025 for me, I'm giving it an 8.5.
The Morning Show with Sedano and Cap. Weekday starting at 7 a.m. on ESPN Los Angeles, the ESPN LA app, and streaming live on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Hey, it's Chris Morales. Have you ever been on a bad first date? The cheap gifts, the awkward silences, or the date where the other person spends the entire time talking about their ex? This Valentine's Day, Jacob Emrani is evaluating cases of bad first dates, and he is converting your pain into compensation. The winner of this contest will win a card for a beautiful flower bouquet, dinner for two, and an additional $500 to ease your heartache. To participate, visit Jacob's Instagram at @call_Jacob and follow the instructions before February 12th. Don't forget this Valentine's Day at @call_Jacob.
Progressive presents the Passionate Sports Fan Checklist. Signed jersey of your favorite bench warmer? Check. 14 bobbleheads that look nothing like the players they're emulating? Check. Twin TVs so you can watch the game on 2 different networks simultaneously? Check. Life-size wall sticker of your favorite player that routinely freaks you out at night? Check. A second life-size wall sticker so after the first one freaks you out, you see the second and you're like, oh right, the wall stickers. Check and mate. Bundle your renters and auto insurance with Progressive and save on protection for the things on your checklist. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers not available in all states or situations covered subject to policy terms.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge, and Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station. This is Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN.
And that will do it. Lakers dropped both ends of the back-to-back last night to OKC, tonight to San Antonio.
Last night at Crypto.com Arena, the purple and gold were undermanned as Wemby went off and the Spurs took down the Lake Show.
Rebound, grabbed by Dylan Harper, alley-oop to Wemby, slam dunk.
The Lakers get right back at it tomorrow night versus the Dallas Mavericks. But J.J. Redick says they gotta step it up defensively.
We could have showed 18 clips of us not playing our defense, so not a lot to take away other than, we suck at defense.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
And all new Lakers Talk is on right now.
Here's Andy Kamenetzky.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, ESPN LA 710. Thank you to everybody for listening as we head into the All-Star break. One more game that is tomorrow against the Dallas Mavericks. 7 o'clock. You can hear it right here, as you can hear all Lakers games on 710 ESPN. The tip-off with Michael and John on the call. That's at 7. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 with Beto Duran. Beto will also have the post. Again, all Lakers games can be heard right here on 710 ESPN. Going to get into Luke Kennard, Kobe Buffkin, Tankapalooza that has a lot of people up in arms going around the NBA. But take a couple calls first. We'll begin with my guy Mitch in New Jersey. Mitch, what's up?
How are you? Your health is good, and I like the Lakers. Mr. Debbie Downer, LeBron, I think he should kind of keep quiet. Maybe if he took less money, like Tom Brady, maybe we could have signed a couple of players, better bench players. That's what I want to say. 2, Luke, I thought he worked out during off-season. He's in danger of not even playing 65. I mean, 75 should be minimum.
Well, I mean,
and one more.
Go ahead,
I'm
Mitch.
sorry.
One more. Go ahead.
One more thing, they're not listening. And you know how I go. Jeez, I'm sorry. You know me like
It's fine, Mitch. You're fine. Go.
Wemby had 25 points in one quarter. I love records to be broken. I know they don't make records, but I'm talking about Will Chamberlain's. I know I'm just being facetious here. Will Chamberlain's record. Is he being baby? I mean, he's 22 years old.
Appreciate the call there, Mitch. Interesting. There's a lot there. I'll talk about the Wemby piece of this because Wemby actually commented afterwards. He had 40 points in 26 minutes. If he had forced the issue, and also too, I think if the Spurs had really treated the entirety of this game with the utmost
They were feeding him a lot.
They were feeding him a lot. He had 25 points in the first 8 minutes. He scored 17 in a row, 37 in the first half. But after that first quarter, everybody got looser because they recognize we are going to kick the bleep out of this Lakers team, and there's not a damn thing they can do about it. And Wemby ultimately sat once he played 26 minutes, scored 40. I realize that he's young, but he's had injuries already. This is the best team he's played for. The Spurs are right in looking at this and saying there's a bigger picture for this season. And other than Wemby just putting up numbers, which he's going to have, health assumed, plenty of opportunities to do over the course of his season, there's no reason to keep him out there purely just to hit 50 or hit 60 and really risk an injury unnecessarily and that inorganically.
Also, a lot of people weren't talking about it, but they had another game tonight.
Yeah,
in Golden State.
Yeah. I mean, there was a back-to-back, and if Wemby wants to be as fresh as possible, the Spurs trying to maintain as high of a seed as they can. I understand the idea that he's young, but you want to be smart about this stuff. Again, considering Wemby's had injuries before. JJ in Belmont Shores, you're on Lakers Talk. What's up, JJ?
Andy, how are you?
Good, man.
Bunchy, how are you, brother?
He just raised his fist.
Hey,
He's good.
Okay, listen, Andy, last week, I called in and we kind of talked about the need for another Shamit, the way he shot all those threes. And I threw up Michael Porter in Brooklyn, and I threw up Kennard. And they got Kennard, and I love that. But again, hey, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Look at you. Look at you, shadow GM of the Lakers. You're the third Rambo.
My namesake. Hey, Andy, my namesake, JJ, listens to your show, and so it's done.
Okay. All right.
So listen, DeAndre, I wanted to now DeAndre, I agree with what he's saying, but he himself said a cheap big man. And yes, we got the best cheap big man. But what he's really saying is if you keep doing what you're doing, we overpaid.
No, I appreciate the call there, JJ. For DeAndre Ayton's price, $8 million and change, this is as good as you're going to do for a center in this league. as far as a center that you would try to play 20 to 30 minutes, unless you're talking about a center that's on a rookie scale deal, this is as good as it gets. Like, even if you think DeAndre Ayton has been underwhelming, and certainly the last month and change of Ayton has been underwhelming, like I said to Dr. DeAndre Hawkins in the first hour, I am hoping, and it's a weird version of hope, but I am hoping that maybe this knee soreness explains to some degree what we've seen from Ayton over the last month and change and the inconsistencies. Like, assuming they can get a handle on it, maybe that is the reason, as opposed to just the recurrent motor issues or recurrent disinterest, or just the idea that DeAndre Ayton has just juice ain't worth the squeeze when it comes to the effort, and that he's got $8 million change waiting for him next season, player option. And you know what? Maybe it's not the deal that he was hoping to play himself into, but at the end of the day, $8 million is still a lot of money, and he's good with that. Like, that would be the glass half empty version of what we've seen from DeAndre Ayton over the last, like I said, month and change, a couple good games scattered in there. The glass half full explanation, and again, it's a weird kind of perverse version of half full, but I think people will understand what I mean, is that the knee has been causing him issues. And if they can get this knee under control, and maybe with the extended rest that he's gotten, it can be, you'll see a version of DeAndre Ayton that mirrors more of the first month or so of the season, where Ayton really was playing well. And on both ends, I thought was putting in a lot of effort and was looking like a guy that was going to prove a lot of skeptics wrong. So we'll see. You know, that would be the glass
I hope
half
he's
full.
injured. I hope he's not just mailing it in.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a weird version of hope, but that would be it. Coming up, I want to get into Luke Kennard, that addition, how I think it can help the Lakers, and a few things that I think Kennard does that maybe fans may not be as aware of. I'm going to take more of your calls. Tom, hang in there. I'm going to get to you next. This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
In Los Angeles, it's not about closing deals. It's about opening partnerships. At ESPN LA, we're hiring audio play-by-play and digital marketing consultants. People who build relationships and create custom solutions powered by ESPN LA and the biggest teams in the city. This is where brands connect with fans who care. Competitive pay, full benefits, unlimited upside. Open your next partnership. Apply now at goodkarmabrands.com/careers.
Hey, it's producer Laura with your LA Care Minute, and here's today's health tip. The best healthcare starts before you get sick. Regular checkups, vaccines, and preventative care can help catch problems early and keep you feeling your best. That's why I want to tell you about my friends at LA Care, a health plan that truly puts our community first. LA Care offers Medi-Cal, California's Medicaid program, providing coverage for low-income individuals and families. They also offer LA Care Covered, available through Covered California, for anyone in the state who needs health insurance. With 12 community resource centers across Los Angeles and growing, LA Care, in collaboration with Blue Shield Promise, offers free vaccine clinics, health consultations, family events, workout and cooking classes, and so many helpful resources. They even specialize in senior care with programs designed to support healthy, independent living. Learn more at lacare.org or discover LA's most affordable health plan at lacarecovered.org. LA Care is more than a health plan. We're part of your community.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Robert was in big trouble with the IRS.
Yes, I owed them a lot of money, over $52,000.
Then he heard about Civic Tax Relief.
They took great care of me. It went really quick. $52,000 I owed, and they had a payoff for $100, and the IRS accepted it. Man.
Off the hook for just $100?
Civic Tax Relief will take care of you. Give them a call.
Call Civic Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation. 800-881-4555. 800-881-4555. Individual results may vary. Visit civictaxrelief.com for more information.
DeMarco and Travis have taken over Afternoon Drive.
Why did you call me fat today?
Weekdays starting at 3 p.m.
I didn't
you called him fat?
I did.
Why did he call you fat?
So okay, hold on.
DeAndre, you were in the room.
I'm gonna do
Laura,
exactly.
you were in the room.
I walked into the room
Yep.
like this. Like I'm gonna stand up for a second.
Yep.
And his response to me, he kind of gives me an up down. He goes, "Are you still walking?"
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, he did.
Did I say the word fat? I did not.
It was in the tone, DeMarco, as you Laura, right?
No.
You heard me say this
No,
before.
Listen.
no.
Laura, what was your takeaway from it?
Okay.
Do you believe that he was saying that I put weight back on?
I don't think he meant that, but the way it came off definitely sounded like
DeAndre,
that.
what did you think?
Oh, no.
The tone mattered
Yeah.
how he said it.
Yeah, you're right, but I didn't say fat.
Afternoons with DeMarco and Travis starting at 3 p.m. on 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and live on YouTube.
More Lakers talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
Bronny dribbling. Jordan McLaughlin on him. Bronny shakes. McLaughlin pulls up. 10-footer. Good.
Losses for the Lake Show. Bronny James knows it's important to get a win tomorrow night versus the Mavericks before the All-Star break.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the most important. We got to end the first stretch of the season off right and hopefully come back the second stretch with an empty head and open mind and, ready to win some games and get to the playoffs.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today. And all new Lakers Talk is on right now.
Back to Andy Kamenetzky.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, ESPN LA 710. Going to get to my thoughts on the Luke Kennard edition. Last time we talked before tonight, it was pre-trade deadline, so I had no idea that Luke Kennard was going to be a Laker. So we'll get into that real quick, though. Tom in Buena Park. You're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Tom?
What's up? First of all, thanks for doing the show. It's always great to hear, and
thanks,
I
man.
appreciate this moment of time to share that with you.
I appreciate that.
But I do have something that maybe, AK, you can figure out a way, and DeAndre, you guys can figure out a way to keep me perpetually employed with this idea. But we should have a segment that comes on Laker Talk that turns into just what you said after Dr. Clapper. Doc Hawk on Laker Talk.
Ooh, Lakers Talk with
And what
Doc Hawk.
Yes, and what we do is we let him go through the injury report for the Lakers, of course, and then whoever we're playing, and then we can extend it to the rest of the league.
And have
Let him have fun.
Have DeAndre diagnosed the seriousness of all these injuries?
Diagnosed it, put a plan together for recovery.
I like this. Amateur medicine with Doc Hawk.
Well, it's professional viewership medicine.
Well, what DeAndre will do, and I appreciate the call, Tom. DeAndre will make it very clear. You know how, like, whenever a celebrity is either, like, a celebrity ends up having some type of, I don't know, for lack of a better way of putting it, mental breakdown, or does something weird, and one of these talk shows will bring on a psychiatrist.
Dr. Drew.
Yeah. And Dr. Drew will
Dr.
say,
Oz.
right, Dr. Oz will say, I've never treated Celebrity X. However, like, DeAndre will always make it known, I have never treated any of these NBA players. In fact, I'm not even a doctor, but this is my non-professional medical assessment of what's going on.
He's a doctor without the medical school.
Exactly, but Doc Hawk, I like this. All right, before we get into Luke Kennard, speaking of white Lakers, learned a crazy stat during the OKC game. I don't know if you remember, but Austin Reeves threw down a pretty serious dunk.
I think I know where you're going with this one.
Austin Reeves, for his NBA career, is 100% on dunks. He's never missed a dunk his entire NBA career. I had no idea.
One of two players, too. You know who the other guy is?
Well, no. There's more than that.
Really?
According to StatHead, which I believe is like the paid extension of Basketball Reference, Austin is, for his career, 37 for 37 throwing down. And obviously not all of these dunks are like throwing down over two or three guys like heavy traffic or whatever. But nonetheless, 37 for 37. The leader for career. Do you know who it is?
I do know. I think this might be the guy that I'm thinking of, George Mirasan, right?
Yes, George Mirasan for his career.
My Giant.
My Giant.
I love that movie.
Billy Crystal and George Mirasan. Two actors that everybody had been hoping for years to put together, and it finally worked out.
I know, it did work out.
George Mirasan, 51 for 51 for his career. Reggie Miller is tied with Austin Reeves.
I saw, yes.
37 for 37. Former Laker champion Jared Dudley, 36 for 36 for his career. Then someone named Edmund Sumner, I don't know who that is, but was 34 for 34. TJ Leaf. TJ
Leaf.
32 for 30.
UCLA TJ Leaf?
Yes, I believe so. 32 for 32. Chris Mills, 31 for 31.
Chris Mills, former Knick, former Cav.
This one is kind of crazy because I would have figured there would have been more dunks to begin with. Dennis Rodman only threw down 28
He
times.
doesn't dunk a lot. I remember his career, or just a career with the Bulls. He didn't dunk a lot.
I just would have, he played for so long, I would have figured, he's like 6'8" or something. I would have figured for that long of a career, more than 28 dunks. But 28 for 28. Do you remember this guy, Alexei Shved?
Of course I do.
Had a cup of coffee with the Knicks. Shout
Washington?
Out to,
I think he was drafted by Washington.
He was one of Ben Lyons' favorites on the Knicks.
Yeah.
He's 26 of 26 for his career. And Pele Larson, however you pronounce it, 25 for 25. So
Man.
Austin Reeves, again, 100%.
Would love to see a My Giant reboot with like Boban and like another short actor from Hollywood.
Look, dirty little secret in Hollywood, you can find plenty of short.
I know. I just don't know who that guy would be, Billy Crystal.
But like,
Boban would be that guy.
Boban would be great.
Yeah.
Boba, I would say Wemby, but I think Wemby's too big for this.
No,
I don't picture Wemby doing it.
No, I feel like
he's not quite goofy enough.
Comedic, yeah, not a goofy enough, but for comedic.
Although Boban in John Wick 3 or John Wick 4, awesome. He is awesome as a villain that John Wick.
Spoiler alert: he got killed by a book.
Yep, got killed by a book, and I believe it's John Wick 4. So Luke Kennard, added by the Lakers at the deadline. They traded Gabe Vincent and a 2032 second-round pick. I like this move. Like, I want to say off the top, this is not a massive needle-moving move for the Lakers, nor do I think a true needle-moving deal was even available for the Lakers based on who did and did not move, but also the Lakers did not have a ton of assets that they could shove into the middle of the table to try to make that type of move. Plus, the Lakers, frankly, are not a one-player-away type team that I think would even justify that type of move in the first place. I think it makes far more sense to prioritize aggressive moves this offseason where you finally have that type of flexibility and more lanes to build around Luka. But I like Luke Kennard for a couple reasons. First of all, the Lakers needed better outside shooting. They had one true established outside shooter, consistent 40+% shooter, and that was Rui. They need at least one more. Luke Kennard, 44% for his career. When the Lakers traded for him, it was almost 50% this season from behind the arc. Small sample size, but for the Lakers, shooting 44% on threes a game. I know they'd like them to bump up. They'd like Luke to bump up that volume, but he is an elite established shooter. In 9 NBA seasons, he has only shot below 40% twice and never below 39%. Like, that dude is a legit laser, but he's also a movement shooter. Like, he's not just a spot-up guy like Rui. Like, Rui, primarily his threes are camped out in the corner or at the top of the arc. Maybe he will pump fake with a dribble, let a flyby go, but they are basically stationary threes. Like, you don't run Rui off a series of screens. That's never been his game. Luke Kennard is a movement shooter. Like, he is somebody that you can play. Make it clear, he is not at the level of Klay Thompson as a player, but that type of style, or the way J.J. Redick was used in his career. You can do that with Luke Kennard. We've actually seen the Lakers do that with Kennard in his debut. They ran an ATO where Maxi Kleber set an awesome hammer screen as Luke Kennard relocated to the corner. Really good pass by Austin Reeves. Corner three goes down. Like, there are different things that you can do with Luke Kennard that you can't do with Rui. And frankly, I think these are the things J.J. Redick hoped he could do with Dalton Knecht, and thus far has not been able to do. Also, too, Luke Kennard, he's got more to his offense. Like, he is not a great overall offensive player, but he can put the ball on the floor. He is a good cutter. He is good at getting to the rim, certainly more so than like Gabe Vincent. Like, Gabe Vincent never took shots inside the arc. Luke Kennard, we've seen even just as a Laker, he will take it to the rim. He's not a great playmaker, but he can do a little bit off the bounce as a playmaker as well. Like, he's got dimensions to his game offensively, even though there's no question the biggest one is outside shooting. Like, that is why he's in this league. There are defensive concerns with him. Like, he is not terribly athletic. He's not terribly strong. He is not big for his position. He's going to get targeted. We've already seen that 3 out of 3 times. Like, that's going to be a thing for him. But at the same time, get in line. Like, a lot of dudes on this team getting targeted defensively. But he's only going to play, I think, when all hands are on deck, 20-ish minutes a night. They'll be going against reserves, which will lessen some of those defensive responsibilities. But also, too, I think he can help the defense by just stabilizing the offense. Just giving the Lakers more chances to set off made baskets, fewer long misses, which lead to more transition opportunities where the Lakers just really struggle to defend. Like, I think it's a good addition. He does not address even close to all of the Lakers' needs, but he addresses one glaring need, and I do think it is far beyond the realm of possibilities, or not beyond the realm of possibilities, I should say, that he could be re-upped this offseason. Like, I don't – he's making $11 million expiring this season. I would be very surprised.
That's nothing.
Well, I'd be surprised if he made that much
I think
on his new deal.
He's like a $6 or $7 million guy.
Yeah, I would be surprised if the Lakers could bring him back, 3 for 21, maybe even 2 for 18, something like that, 2 for 17 and a half. I think that could be doable. I think that could be useful. A Luka Doncic-led team, obviously you need to put defense and athleticism around him to offset the weaknesses of Luka and also the weaknesses that'll be there if it's Luka and Austin. But they need shooting, and he's going to help with that shooting. Coming up, get a little bit into Kobe Buffkin and that 15th roster spot used on him, and also Tankapalooza. That's got a lot of people up in arms, particularly with the Utah Jazz, who've been one of the more blatant tankers of late. I'm going to explain why I don't really have an issue with what they're doing. Explain all that coming up next. Lakers Talk, 710 ESPN.
ESPN LA is bringing the action to Hollywood Park Casino for the House Rules Grand Opening Celebration. Happening Thursday, February 12th from 3 to 5:30 p.m. Join ESPN LA's DeMarco and Travis, as well as me, Chris Morales, as House Rules by Hollywood Park Casino, partnered with Legends Attic, the Southland's premier sports memorabilia gallery and store, officially opens its doors inside LA's hottest card room. Celebrate in style with great food, drinks, prizes. Meet Oral Hershiser and Isaac Bruce. More information at playhpc.com/events.
All gas, all Lakers.
Tomorrow night, the Purple and Gold are back at Crypto.com Arena, looking to defend their home floor as the Dallas Mavericks come to downtown LA.
And it's stolen by Kennard. Here come the Lakers on a fast break. LeBron down the middle, slam dunk.
It's Lakers versus Mavericks. Coverage begins tomorrow at 5:30 p.m.
The Lake Show lives here. 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Guys, quick PSA, forgetting Valentine's Day flowers is not the move. Trust me, this is why I go to the Bouqs Company every time. Bouqs delivers modern bouquets fresh to her door. Plus, with my code CANTY, you get 25% off. Bouqs flowers are cut fresh from the best farms in the world, so you get bigger, brighter blooms that last way longer. They've got incredible flowers, even roses grown on the side of a volcano. And the best part? Bouqs makes it easy. Pick the bouquet, the delivery date, and you're done. No last-minute panic. That's why Bouqs has over 50,000 five-star reviews. And listen, even if she says, don't get me anything, that doesn't mean no flowers. Flowers still score every time. Valentine's Day is February 14th, right after the big game, so don't fumble this. Order now. Go to Bouqs.com, use my promo code CANTY for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code CANTY. Bouqs, promo code CANTY.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Your morning drive begins early in the Southland. Luckily for you, we present Unsportsmanlike with Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekdays 3 to 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
The Lakers are in the no man's land category, and thus there is no point to this season. They have a top 5 player of all time in LeBron. They have a top 5 player in the sport in Luka. You can't tell me the point of this season is to win a championship because LeBron just told you they have no draft status. You can't tell me the point of this season is for player development with young players. The majority of the team is on an expiring contract to get to the team that Luka can build around. The only point of this season for the Los Angeles Lakers is to ultimately get LeBron James off the roster so they can restart this franchise around Luka. This is as pointless of a season for as relevant of a team as we have ever seen in the history of sports.
Start your day with Unsportsmanlike before the Sedano and Cap Morning Show at 7 a.m. Mornings on ESPN LA. This is Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
Now back to Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, ESPN LA, 7:10. Lakers added, this was a bit of a surprise. It was interesting. Rob Pelinka, before the Warriors game over the weekend on Saturday, he was addressing the Luke Kennard deal because it had become official, which meant he could talk about it. He also said that they would be aggressive on the buyout market and that they were going to be looking in all likelihood to fill that 15th spot. What we didn't know was that before the game even ended that night, we would know that that 15th spot was going to be filled by Kobe Buffkin, who had a cup of coffee earlier in the season with the Lakers. He is a former first-round pick, played a couple seasons with the Hawks. A lot of injuries derailing his career, very young career. I believe he's 22. He has been killing it in the G League with the South Bay Lakers, absolutely killing it. And the Lakers gave him, according to Sham Sharani of ESPN, a 2-year deal, basically for the remainder of this season, prorated. And then next season, it's important to know, next season is a team option, not a player option. So that provides the Lakers some degree of cap flexibility and maneuverability in terms of building around Luka and prioritizing everything that they want. They do not need to worry about Buffkin being on their books. Kobe Buffkin will be a Laker next year, only if the Lakers want him to be on the roster. But it was interesting because this was quicker than a lot of people had expected quicker than anybody had expected Rob Pelinka to fill that 15th spot, much less with a guy that had been in the G League. I am assuming that they got pretty hard intel that they needed to move on Buffkin now. Because if they didn't move on him, another team was going to scoop him up. And it's very clear a move like this, and J.J. Redick alluded to this in talking about the addition of Buffkin. He said, and this is true, buyout guys rarely make a big impact for a team in the playoffs. Like, I'm not saying it never happens. It has. But it's pretty rare. To put this in perspective, in 2020, Markieff Morris with the championship Lakers, he had one of the bigger impacts of a buyout guy, I would say, in recent NBA playoff history.
I think the biggest guy was probably Rasheed Wallace.
But he wasn't a buyout guy, though.
Was he not a buyout guy?
No, I believe he was a trade. I believe the Hawks traded him to the
I thought it was
Pistons.
a buyout guy.
I'd have to double check. To your point, if that is the case, you're going 20-plus years.
Yeah.
And Rasheed Wallace was an all-star. He was like an all-star player. Like he is an exception that proves the rule as to somebody that would even be available. I believe he was flipped, though, by the Hawks. I think he was like an Atlanta Hawk for a day, and then the Hawks flipped him because the Hawks also were a one-day station for Carmelo Anthony. Like the Hawks have a history of taking all-star players, housing them for a day, and then moving them on.
You're right. He was traded.
Yeah, I thought so. But like Markieff Morris, Boris Diaw for the Spurs, maybe like a decade or so ago.
Like 15 years ago.
Right. Like it happens, but it's rare. And JJ acknowledged this. He's like, most of the time, a buyout guy does not make a huge difference one way or the other. So in that sense, they weren't filling that spot with a buyout guy or anybody, thinking that it was going to be a massive impact for the rotation. Some of the positional needs that I think, and a lot of other fans think are more pressing, like particularly along the wings. There aren't a lot of options, at least right now, among guys who are actually healthy. Like Haywood Highsmith, for example, a lot of Laker fans bring up. He hasn't played this entire season.
That's what I was going to say.
He hasn't played this whole year.
He's good. He's pretty good.
But if your concern is a buyout guy that can make an impact for this season, by definition, you can't bring in a guy that's still recovering from a season-long injury that you haven't even seen play. Like Matisse Thybulle, if he were bought out, he's played, I think, 4 games this year.
But I don't think it's because he's been injured. I think because Portland doesn't play him.
But no, he's been hurt. He's been both. I think maybe they don't play him, but Matisse Thybulle's been hurt a lot over his career, and they're trying to make a playoff push. Like Portland hasn't been tanking.
One guy I hear on Lakers Twitter that bring up a lot is CP3, which I don't know why people want to do that.
That makes no sense. Like Chris Paul does, other than I guess completing the loop.
Yeah, fulfilling the prophecy.
Fulfilling the prophecy of the Banana Boat Gang and allowing LeBron to have played in the NBA. He had played with Melo. He had played with Dwayne Wade, obviously. He would then have played with Chris Paul. He closes the loop. He's played with everybody. Also, the Lakers can very, very late close the loop with CP3 and the rescinded trade by the league and by David Stern for #basketball reasons, #never forget, because the league overstepped their boundaries there. Still firmly believe that. A lot could have been avoided. There's no Steve Nash. There is no Steve Nash on the Lakers if the Chris Paul trade isn't rescinded. And I love Steve Nash. He was a great player, but that deal went super, super sideways.
About 2 games?
Right, yeah. I mean, it went super, super sideways in ways that really hurt the Lakers. But like Cam Thomas, for example, who is going to join the Bucks.
He played tonight, too.
I would have been – I didn't even realize he'd been active by now. I did not actually realize that. I would have been stunned if the Lakers were even on Cam Thomas's list. Cam Thomas needs a larger opportunity than he would have guaranteed by the Lakers.
Cam Thomas tonight, 34 points in 25 minutes.
Sure. But, I mean, the Bucks, he's going to have plenty.
Giannis is going to be out the rest of the year probably.
Plenty of opportunities to showcase himself. He ain't going to get that.
He's probably the best player on the Bucks right now.
He might be. He actually might be. Other than, I guess, really Miles Turner showing out, he's the best player on the team.
Yeah.
Certainly the best. He is the best scorer, hands down. And that's his calling card. So I consider Bufkin in a lot of ways a look towards the future. They clearly like what they see from him in the South Bay Lakers. They are a team that, quite frankly, a franchise that needs young players. They need access to youth. Their last couple draft picks have not worked out. They've also moved a lot of draft picks, whether because they were trying to build around LeBron and AD or, frankly, using them as sweetener to offload mistakes. They have very, very little access to young players, and we are increasingly seeing the importance of cost-controlled players on a roster, like trying to build for a championship. You look at the teams that have had the most recent success. A lot of them have spent time developing their own players on cost-controlled deals. I'm not saying I think Kobe Bufkin is at the level of like the big 3 in OKC, but like you need, even if Kobe Bufkin could become a quality 9th guy, that would matter. It's
Got to be a former first-round pick for something, right?
Exactly. Like, he's the perfect guy to take a flyer on if you're looking for youth, if you like what you see in him. I realize Rob Pelinka, combo guards, like that is his thing. Like that is his OnlyFans tab. It's combo guards. Like that is Rob Pelinka's fetish. I get it. I get why it aggravates a lot of Laker fans. Like it feels predictable that he would do this for a combo guard on a roster without a pressing need for a combo guard. I understand it. But if you look past this season, like purely this season, and perhaps next season, I do think it makes sense. And as I talked about with Trevor earlier, the Kobe Buffkin move does not preclude the Lakers from making another move if there's somebody else that shakes loose on the buyout market that they want. They can waive Maxi Kleber. They could actually waive Kobe Buffkin because Kobe Buffkin's contract is not guaranteed past this season. So I know there's some CBA weeds with this to get into, but they're not done if they don't.
And another name I've seen pop up, Jeremy Sochan, who just got, you know.
We talked about this with Trevor. He's kind of like a slightly more polished offensively version of Vando. Like and I say slightly because
he's not a rich man's Vando.
No,
he's a middle class.
No. He's like a middle class Jared Vanderbilt. Like
you don't need two of them.
You're living comfortable. You're not living paycheck to paycheck. No. You're not living hand to mouth, but you have to check your statement every day. You wake up every morning, you log on to your bank, and you check your statement every day. That's kind of Jeremy Sohan as the middle-class offense version of Vando. If the Lakers wanted Jeremy Sohan, they can find a way to do it. Like, it is possible to do
But it's not a need. It's not necessarily a big need for them.
I don't know if this is the way I would say Sohan. He's another one-way player on a team with too many one-way players as it is. That being said, though, if you're just looking for different options to, at any given point in the game, maximize whatever one-way player floor combinations that you have, like if, say, Vando's in foul trouble and you need somebody else to go out there and do things that Jared Vanderbilt does, or somebody is injured, or you're looking to go small, for example, and for whatever reason you think Vando is not an option or LaRavia is not an option because of matchups, Sohan maybe could be a different look than some of those other guys. He is, like I said, somewhat better offensively than Vando. He has averaged double figures before. He has done a little bit of quasi point guarding before in an experiment.
He's like the Kia Optima of that player range, right?
What? He is a sponsor, right? Are they? Are they not? Be careful.
No, they're not.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
They're not sponsored.
Okay, just want to. I can never remember who we have with cars and who we don't.
I know Kia is not.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good. He is the Kia Optima of offensive players. The point is, if you want Sohan or somebody else, there can be options for that. So the Lakers aren't done. You can maybe argue that they went on Buffkin faster than they needed to, although, again, I'd like to think they were told, either do this now or you're going to lose him. They like him enough to do it. I see it as no harm, no foul, and I don't know if there's anybody on the buyout market that really would have made a difference in the playoffs anyway. Coming up, a little crunch time. It's how we always close out shows. Funchie's got the topics. He and I will bat them around. This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
All gas, all Lakers.
Tomorrow night, the purple and gold are back at Crypto.com Arena, looking to defend their home floor as the Dallas Mavericks come to downtown LA.
And it's stolen by Kennard. Here come the Lakers on a fast break. LeBron down the middle, slam dunk.
It's Lakers versus Mavericks. Coverage begins tomorrow at 5:30 p.m.
The Lake Show lives here. 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Located in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, Crypto.com Arena is pulling back the curtain and unveiling new behind-the-scenes VIP tours presented by Delta Airlines, which offers an exclusive look inside one of the world's most iconic sports and entertainment venues. Expert guides will lead small groups through spaces that have hosted legendary sports championships, world-renowned concerts, and epic awards. Guests will also explore the VIP areas and experience the arena's latest renovations. Visit CryptoArena.com/tours for more info.
Call Jacob.
800-345-6789. That's a new way to call Jacob. And how easy is that, Mace?
800-345-6789. In a city full of stars, one shines the brightest. 800-345-6789.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob. 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
In Los Angeles, it's not about closing deals. It's about opening partnerships. At ESPN LA, we're hiring audio play-by-play and digital marketing consultants. People who build relationships and create custom solutions powered by ESPN LA and the biggest teams in the city. This is where brands connect with fans who care. Competitive pay, full benefits, unlimited upside. Open your next partnership. Apply now at goodkarmabrand's.com/careers.
Every morning, you think you've heard it all on the Sedano and Cap Morning Show, and then Cap opens his mouth.
I ever tell you guys, my dad, when I was a little kid, my dad chewed tobacco. It was called Red Man. Like, it was in a pouch, and then you take this big thing of tobacco and you put it in the side of your mouth. So my dad comes home one night, and he's got a can of Dr. Pepper. And I looked at the Dr. Pepper as a little kid, like, ooh, that looks good. I'd like to have a sip of that.
Don't tell me you actually sipped it.
Oh, no, Cappy, no.
You would have vomited immediately.
Let me tell you something. I go to sip on this Dr. Pepper, and my dad goes, no! And I already had it down. And then he told me that it was his juice spills. Oh,
you went and threw up, right?
So I don't remember throwing up. I just remember being like, oh, Dad, gross.
Real stories, real laughs, zero filter. It's the Morning Show with Sedano and Cap. Weekdays starting at 7 a.m. on 710 ESPN.
It's crunch time on Lakers Talk.
When the clock is ticking and it's all coming down to the wire, you know what that means.
This is crunch time.
Real quick before we start crunch time, meant to mention this before. Cooper Flagg is doubtful for tomorrow's game, Lakers-Mavericks, which on one hand, boo, because it's fun to watch him play. He's having, he's obviously front runner for Rookie of the Year. Great young rookie. He is the future of the Mavericks moving forward. The Mavericks are also, quite frankly, in tank mode. They're one of many teams right now in super tank mode, and it wouldn't surprise me if young Cooper Flagg, I think he's going to play most games because they want to give him the reps. It would not surprise me at all if young Cooper Flagg is often fending for himself in the remainder of these games. But LeBron and Austin are both off the injury report altogether. This now becomes a game, particularly if Cooper Flagg doesn't play. The Lakers have to win. They have to win this game.
All right, well, just because you just said that and Dallas Mavericks are tanking, we'll bring up the NBA trade deadline, which just happened last week, and the Dallas Mavericks made a big trade. They got rid of AD.
Mm-hmm.
They traded him to Washington. And Jaden Hardy and D'Angelo Russell and Dante Exum all go to Washington, and Dallas receives a bunch of players and draft picks, and Charlotte receives one player, Michaeli Branham. So, reaction to that? What do you think? AD going to Washington, going to the nation's capital.
I think it is a better situation for AD, in all honesty. Like, I know this season the Wizards are part of Tankapalooza, and there's going to be a lot of shady-seeming injury recovery between AD and Trae Young. Like his recovery post-trade, he has yet to suit up. Like that sort of stuff going on. But once you start next year playing in earnest, Trae Young, AD, Alex Sarr, George, like they've got
also their first-round pick wherever they get in the draft.
Exactly, which is very important for them. Mm-hmm. Like, they've got some players. I think Trae Young, if nothing else, will help guys get better shots. Like they need help manufacturing looks. Like Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson's
here, yes.
Like I actually think
Bilal.
Yeah, Bilal Coulibaly. Like, is AD going to be happy with the Wizards? I don't know about happy. He wants to be. He wants to. I'm sure try to win another championship, and the odds are low there. The flip side is though. Wizards are one of the few teams that I think would even sort of consider giving.
They need stars. They need stars. That's why.
Right.
They need to sell tickets.
They need to sell tickets. This is something that'll get the fan base excited. I actually think it'll help get these young players more meaningful basketball experience. They'll likely make the playoffs.
Literally, I have a sister that lives over there, and their tickets are like $4.
Right. I mean,
they need people to watch.
They need some juice, and AD will provide some degree of juice when he's healthy, like lest we forget, because it's been a minute since he's been consistently healthy. AD's still a really good player, and the Wizards are among the few teams that I think will even come sort of close to giving him the type of extension that he wants. He's not going to get a max anywhere, but the Wizards, I think, are among the few that'll even sort of get into the ballpark of what he wants.
And then the last thought on that, like, I think if everything goes well for the Wizards, like they have a combination of, veterans and young guys, they could be a playing team next year.
Oh yeah, no, I think they could potentially even be a playoff team. Like, we'll see, but Alex Sarr is having actually a really good season. Like they've got some good young talent, and I think Trae Young. I think Trae Young is an overrated scorer, and he's definitely an overrated shooter. He's an underrated playmaker, though.
Yes, he is.
Like he's an underrated.
Actually, I think he led the league in assists one year too.
Last year.
Okay, there you go. All right, and we'll just talk about the other big deal that happened. James Harden, going from Clipperland, goes to Cleveland for Darius Garland and a future second-round pick. What's your reaction to that? No more Beard with the Clippers. Looks like they're just trying to get rid of people, just get rid of salary, I suppose.
See, I think it's interesting. I remember a trade deadline reaction show that I did over at Rock and Brews with Mace and with O'Shea Jackson Jr. And eventually, Ireland in particular didn't understand what the Clippers were doing, because they'd been one of the hotter teams in the league over like the last month.
I totally understand what they're doing.
I completely understand what they're doing. They realized James Harden, his contract was going to become a problem. And we've seen now the history that when James Harden's contract becomes an issue, that can derail a season.
He has a problem.
Right. He has a problem. It can derail a season. And if James Harden was not going to be amenable to whatever they were going to be giving him this offseason, because he has a weird contract set up with both like a player and a team option. But if that was going to go sideways, this era's over. Because James Harden, say what you want about the playoff failures and whatever, James Harden over the last couple of years has been the glue holding this thing together to whatever degree it's been held together at all. If he's gone, they recognize this is over. Like, we've maxed out what we can do. We cannot go any further. We need to find some way to start replenishing our very, very bare cabinet of assets. So from there, they traded Ivica Zubac, and they got a couple firsts and Benedict Mathurin. They now have a young backcourt with Benedict Mathurin and Darius Garland.
And I like that backcourt a lot.
They're getting younger with some more picks, like some more ability to do things that they would have been stuck. They would have been stuck if they had kept Harden. Harden leaves for nothing. Ivica Zubac, he's not old, but he's not young either. And it's like by the time...
But they got a ton for him, which is great.
By the time you could reconfigure anything with Zubac, he's going to be on the backside of his prime.
If you can find a sucker now, just do it.
And Kawhi, until this aspiration thing is resolved, you can't move him. I can't imagine you can move Kawhi even for like 20 cents on the dollar, because people are worried. Is he going to be suspended? Like, is he going to be missing a lot of games beyond the health concerns that you always have with Kawhi? But I think the Clippers just recognized it's over. Like, the minute Harden wanted out, this is over. And honestly, they got ahead of it in a way that I think was pretty impressive.
All right, last thing. All-Star game this weekend. All-Star Saturday night on Saturday. We have the three-point contest, and we have a new wrinkle to it this year with Damian Lillard participating, and he hasn't played a game this year. So, Andy, what is going on with Damian? Why is he doing this? Do you like this move by Damian Lillard? And do you like the NBA allowing this?
It's funny, actually. Trey Murphy III over on the Pelicans, who's having a terrific season. In particular, he's shooting the crap out of the ball. He was asked, would you have done the three-point contest? And in so many words, his response was, yeah, if they had asked me. Like, he wasn't asked, which seemed kind of bananas to a lot of people, particularly in light of Dame participating, having not played at all this season. I get that he's won a couple times before. Like, Dame is a legit great shooter. and he adds some juice, like some name value to this, people will be excited to see Dame, not come out of retirement, but sort of like semi-exile. At the same time, though, I feel like Trey Murphy or someone like him, use this opportunity to promote organically one of your younger players in a market like New Orleans or anywhere else. Like, Dame may juice the league for this season or juice the weekend for this weekend, but I think big picture, you're missing an opportunity not going with a younger guy that could use that type of promotion.
And I think that's where we disagree right now, because I think if Trey Murphy was in instead of Damian Lillard, I think I would not care about it as much.
Really?
I don't think
the three-point contest is the only thing that's still good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like not a fan of All-Star Saturday Night like I used to be, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think I would even check on the phone to see who had won or how anyone did. But since Damian Lillard's going to be there, I think I'm going to be more interested in it. Just because of what the circumstances behind his injury or whatever.
Well, to your point, though, I mean, I guess there will be some curiosity just to see how Dame looks, although I would imagine even post-Achilles, if all you're asking Dame to do is take jump shots, that's probably part of his recovery right now anyway, and he would never put himself into this thing if he didn't feel pretty confident that he can perform
or
well.
just re-injured himself or something.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, and look, Dame is one of my all-time favorite players of his era. Like, I'm a massive Dame fan. What I'm saying is not meant to be, I'm not knocking on Dame. I love Dame. I just feel like part of that weekend is to showcase the players that truly need it. A guy like Trey Murphy III in his market need it. And I think it's a bit of a wasted opportunity. Thanks to everybody who tuned in over the last couple hours. Thank you to Trevor Lane from Lakers Nation for dropping by. Follow him on Twitter at Trevor Lane.
Also, AK, can I plug something?
Sure.
I'll be at the NBA crossover event this weekend.
Oh.
With Kendall Jackson Wine and the station, representing the station for Kendall Jackson Wine. So
Nice.
I'm doing Funch on the streets out there. So
there you go.
Check it out, guys.
Well, thank you to Funchy for being here. Thank you to the kids in the back with the social media for being here. We will be back next Monday, 6 to 8, 710 ESPN.
All gas, all Lakers.
Tomorrow night, the purple and gold are back at Crypto.com Arena, looking to defend